former Vice Chancellor, Rajiv Gandhi University, Professor S.K. Naik, the Vice Chancellor, Dr. N.T. Rikam, the Registrar, Dr. Nanip Tamang Ghosh, Joint Registrar and Convener of the Foundation Day, Professor Tana Shorenji, Dr. Vijay Rajaji, Professor Otem Padumji, Deans of Faculties, Head of Departments, Director of Institutes, faculty members, staffs, students and media friends. After Raghunathji finished his speech, the best part I liked about him was when he sat down, he was very apologetic about taking 4 extra minutes of his time. So that shows how important is time management and how important is time. I remember when I went to Westminster for 14-day seminar and a symposium in British Parliament. So the first day, the management, they told me that your bus will come at 9 a.m. They will pick you up from the hotel and take you to the Parliament. So when I came down, it was just 9 minutes 20 seconds. I saw there was no bus. And I told and asked the hotel people that the bus was supposed to come and pick me up. Has the bus come? I said, what was the time, sir? They had asked me to come down at 9, to report and take the bus. Sir, bus is left at 9 only. So that's the perfection of time they have. So I had to rush, take a cab and rush to the Parliament to attend the seminar. And during the seminar also what I've seen, because see, if you are given a slot, if I'm a resource person, if I'm given a slot of 1 hour or half an hour, say I'm given a half an hour, when the lecture starts, the resource person, when he starts, dot at 25 minutes, you have to wind up. Because 5 minutes prior to his time, the next resource person will come and sit next to you. Whether you finish your topic or not, it doesn't matter. You have to close your lecture there. So that's what I see what, the importance of time and why we should be honoring the time. And the other day I was attending a lecture to one of the very senior person. He was just telling a story about the time management. The person, he stood up to speak to the audience. He asked the audience, how much time I have to speak to you? They said, sir, you have half an hour. So he said, if I extend my time, sir, you can go on for hours, but we will leave after half an hour. So I must congratulate the Rajiv Gandhi University for being one of the most premier institute of the state, and what I've seen that you have been not only academic but giving a lot of holistic approach to the students, because when we visited the stalls and whenever I come here, it gives a lot of inspiration for us also to see the students doing very good in other co-curricular activities, because as a student we need to grow holistically. Like Swami Vivekananda has said, you will be closer to heaven through football, not through Gita. That means only academics is not going to help you. You have to, groom up yourself in a very holistic manner. That's what the university is doing, what I've seen. And the kind of curriculum you have, the kind of activities you have in the universities. So it's very, very appreciable, and I thank the university for carrying out this kind of activities for the students all these years, and that's why you have been judged as A grade in the NAC accreditation. And most importantly, when I come here and stand here, I speak to you as the Education Minister of the state, and your Professor Naikji was also talking about how much infrastructures, how many schools we have kind of constructed, and how many schools we have in every village of our state. But for me, what I've seen when I took over as the Education Minister, people came to me to congratulate for my new responsibility, but at the same time there was a caution note. They said, sir, आपको तो बहुत ही गंदा डिपार्टमेंट मिला है. I said, how could education be a Gandha department? It should be the most sought after and the most beautiful department. Then I started pondering, why is this adjective given to the Department of Education? So when I took over and tried to understand, then I seen that we have a system, but we need a different system now. We need not only to transform, but we need a metamorphosis now. Because over the years, our education system has taken a backstage. We need to bring the education system on track. So I was trying to understand the fundamental issues. Why is our education system has been going from bad to worse over the years? It's just not, government is not only responsible for this. Education is such an institute. We all are equally responsible for this. Everyone is a stakeholder when it comes to education. So we just cannot, shred off our responsibility to say, ये सरकार करेगा, या तो ये teacher करेगा, या ये principal करेगा. As a stakeholder, the parents or the NGOs, to the CBOs, to the student organizations, and from the government and administrator, everyone has to come together when we need a change. And the change must come. It's too late for us. If you go on like this, like we always say that you don't need a nuclear weapon to destroy a society. Just you need to spoil the education system, that's enough to spoil the society and the country as well. So we need to give a very, very serious thought. So after a lot of Chintan, Manthan we had for 3 days, I decided that just having a conclave or seminar or symposium at the state level and sending them off to their own districts, that's not going to work because we have so much of this kind of same symposiums and seminars and conventions and conferences. But what is the outcome? The problem is there's no follow-up. Until and unless you don't do the follow-up, it's not going to happen. So I decided that I must, with my team, travel to each and every district and visit all the schools and try to understand the fundamental issues. What is the main problem which is the roadblock for the education system in Arunachal, which is not been performing as per the expectations of the people. Then I came to know that our kids, they just go on getting promoted without having the basics clear. The foundation level is very, very poor. The literacy, numeracy is very poor. So, until and unless you have a very strong root, you'll never bear a good fruit. So we all know that. Sabko pata hai bolne ka ki foundation. You all say ki foundation has to be strong. But how do we make the foundation strong? Where the problem lies, where the difficulties, where is the roadblock? So I have seen that one of the major issues is that I should not be saying this, but I can't resist. People might, troll me for saying this. Our people has made the education institute a source of earning. Education institutes and schools should be source of learning. So when I go now tell them that the main problem of our education system is the problem of plenty. We have too many schools all across. Even 500 meter, 100 meter, in every villages we have a school. So I thought we must close that because we must focus on the quality, not quantity. We have, if we see the national average, we have the PTR is much, much higher than the national average. But still, a lot of schools are not having good teacher. And some schools are having more than the required teacher. So that kind of disparity is there. If you post them, they don't want to go. The moment the transfer order comes out, if you send them to a remote place, he falls sick. Or else his father will fall sick, his mother will fall sick, or some distant relative will fall sick and come with a medical ka parcha and say, "Mera medical ka problem humko nahi jana chahiye." But when he is in a very comfortable place, you will see him jumping and going parties, and you can't even see a small trace of sickness in him. This is the commitment level which our people has. So we need to understand, that's why when we say that when we go on cleansing the system, we all must come together. We shouldn't shield the erring officer, we shouldn't shield the people who are not been performing, who are not been delivering, because education is not like any other department. We have to prime focus, how do we reshape our education system and change the landscape. We have suffered a lot. We shouldn't be, part of the problem. We should be part of the solution, and we must think that our children are our future. We keep saying, the youth are the powerhouse of the country, but if the powerhouse of the country comes in a very corrupt form, what do we expect from them? Like I always say that nuclear power, if you use it in the right direction, you can do wonders for the country. But if you use it in a wrong way, it can destroy the whole thing. So youth power is also like a nuclear power. So if you channelize them in the proper direction, they will be contributing to the society. If you don't, they will be the biggest menace to the society. So we need to understand this, and we need to come together and seriously think about how do we all be contributing towards the education system transformation which the government of Arunachal is doing. And Raghunathan ji was asking how much percentage is being allotted to the education department. I must say, the government of Arunachal is very liberal when it comes to education. They give a lot of money, but where does this money go? Hundreds and thousands of crores has been spent on education infrastructure. But when I traveled across the state, I saw the dilapidated conditions, because there's no quality control, there's a lot of compromise, there are a lot of duplicacies. The money which should be, used is not being used there. So we have taken a decision that, we are going to close down all the schools which has got zero enrollment and low enrollment, and club it up together and bring them to one place where we'll have all the state-of-art infrastructures with the proper human resource, and we'll have all kind of facilities which a school should have. And we see that the private schools, students come back to our own government school and they get best of the education for our students. That's the government of Arunachal is doing. So you must be hearing Honorable Chief Minister in all the public platforms, he's saying he's going to change the education landscape in 3 years' time. That shows the conviction of the government, how we're going to change the education scenario for Arunachal Pradesh. So now what we have done, we have sent the PMUs to all the districts to assess independently the infra gap and the human resource gap, so that we can plan it in a much holistic and better way to understand and to address the problems of the education. So it's just not about creating infrastructure. And like I said, our teachers have been there for ages. Our teachers are the ones who come through the competitions. The private institute teachers are the ones who don't get into our government schools. But why the private institutes are doing better? That's a $1 billion question. So the redundancy is there, and our government teachers also need to, refurbish themselves, rejuvenate themselves. And that's why we're focusing more on the capacity building of the teachers and the training of the teachers, so that they also, realign with themselves with the new way of learning, new way of teaching, because teaching is a very dynamic subject. It keeps changing with the time. So we need to understand the modern way of teaching. And Raghunathan ji was also saying about the, how do we instill our own culture and tradition in our student, and it should be the curriculum. And more than that, I believe that the ethical and moral values should be instilled in our student, which is lacking nowadays. If you see the social media, the way our youth reacts on the social media, it's like you get scared, where our youths are going. Sometimes we feel that, why this kind of junk are in their mind? We need to cleanse them. So ethical and moral values also should be taught in the school. So I believe that once we start this transformation or reformation or whatever we call it, but I call it metamorphosis, which we're going to do because things has to change fast. So we all need to come together, and with the support of we have the President, NES also here. We are appealing all the CBOs also to the student bodies also to come together, and I'm very happy to see that everyone has been so proactive with the vision which we are carrying for the change in the education system. So with this, I believe that the kind of support I'm getting from the people, wherever I go, from the stakeholders, is very encouraging. I feel and I'm very, very confident that in 7 years, 8 years time, our education system will definitely change. It will be one of the most beautiful education system in the country. That much I can guarantee. When I go to school, when they give us the PowerPoint presentation, they say, "Sir, ये हमारा pass percentage है. Last year it was 73, now it's 74. We are increasing in the pass percentage." I said, "I've not come here to, understand and listen to your pass percentage. Pass percentage could be just cosmetic also, but we want to have our children basic clear. Then only it will help them in the long run." So we are focusing more on the elementary level. And slowly we will come to the higher education also, but I think the root should be, treated first. Then we can go higher. So it will take a little time, but I think patience should be there with the people. They shouldn't say कि मंत्री ने ऐसा बोला, जादू का डंडा जैसे घुमा के रातों रात एजुकेशन ठीक कर दिया, पूरा बच्चे लोग एकदम वन ऑफ द बेस्ट स्टूडेंट्स जैसे हमारा वो कॉन्वेंट स्कूल का बच्चा जैसे तो होगा नहीं. जैसे क्रॉनिक प्रॉब्लम तो जब बीमार पुराना होता है तो उनका इलाज भी थोड़ा समय लगता है. इट्स वेरी क्रिटिकल. कौन सा मेडिसिन देना है ना, उसमें भी समय लगता है. डायग्नोसिस अभी चल रहा है. डायग्नोसिस करने के बाद देन वी विल सी व्हिच इज द बेस्ट मेडिसिन व्हिच वी कैन प्रोवाइड टू द ailing system in the education department. So once again, not taking much time, it's a higher education institute. You must be thinking, why am I talking about all this elementary level thing? But elementary is where we have all come from also. So we need to focus more on the elementary level. And you are the intellectuals. So you also should go back to the society and make parents and the society understand what is the importance of education. And if the government is doing seriously, we all must come together and support them instead of being a roadblock when it comes to the education reformation in Arunachal Pradesh. And I'm very hopeful with the commitment of our Chief Minister, we're going to achieve this reformation very, very soon. And we will have the best pool of human resource in the entire country sometime in a decade's time. That's what my conviction is, and I'm hopeful that we will achieve this very soon under Pema Khandu government. So I would like to once again thank you for inviting me here for this 42nd Foundation Day, and I always wish all the best to the university and the students to excel higher and higher and bring glory and name to the state of Arunachal Pradesh, because these are the premier institution where the young minds are being guided, where you all be part of the progressive Arunachal Pradesh. जहाँ गलती होता है वहाँ आपको पॉइंट आउट करना चाहिए, जहाँ सही हो रहा है उसको भी आप एप्रिशिएट कर सकना चाहिए, तब जाके हर चीज का मायने निकलता है. क्योंकि like I always say, as a politician, or not only politician, everyone who is doing a hard work, उनको सबसे बड़ा एड्रेनलिन उनके लिए क्या है कि appreciation. As a minister, I don't want any material benefit from anyone, but if you appreciate the hard work being put in by the department, this gives us adrenaline to do more and more and much better and much stronger way. तब होता है कि हमको और अच्छा काम करो तो भी गाली देगा, गलती हो गया तो भी गाली देगा, सिर्फ सोशल मीडिया में सिर्फ कचरा होगा तो after all, also human being, I'm not an angel who had come from heaven. कि पूरा आपका गांधी जी तो नहीं है कि इधर एक थप्पड़ मारो हम इधर भी खा लेगा, वो तो नहीं होता ना, जमाना बदल चुका है. So we all appreciate if someone is doing good work, then it will give him energy to do more and much better. तो इसलिए मैं हमेशा से ये बोलता हूँ, हर किसी को अप्रिशिएट भी करना है, गलत कर रहा है तो भी आप उंगली दिखा सीखना चाहिए. आपको वो कंपार्टमेंटलाइज थॉट लेके चलेगा तब तो फिर सोसाइटी को हमेशा से तकलीफ होगा. तो आप लोगों को इसलिए बोल रहा है कि यू आर द इंटेलेक्चुअल ऑफ द स्टेट एंड आपका सबसे प्रीमियर इंस्टीट्यूट का आप लोग स्टूडेंट्स हैं, तो आप लोगों का रोल बहुत है। बोलेंगे कि आरजीयू का स्टूडेंट ऐसा बोल रहा है, तो लोग सोचते हैं कि आरजीयू का स्टूडेंट बोल रहा है तो शायद सही होता हो। तो इसलिए आपका रोल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है इन शेपिंग द सोसाइटी टू द राइट डायरेक्शन। तो लोगों को अच्छा चीज़ के बारे में अच्छे से बताना, गलत हो रहा है तो भी गलत इस तरीके से हो रहा है, उसका क्या सोल्यूशन हो सकता है वो भी आपको बता सकना चाहिए। देन ओनली वी विल ऑल ग्रो टुगेदर। अरुणाचल को और बहुत चलना है। अरुणाचल, लाइक आई सेड, इन पास्ट a decade, we have seen sea of change in infrastructure. अब ह्यूमन रिसोर्स पूल को भी हमको डेवलप करना है, बहुत ज़रूरी है, बिकॉज आगे जाके बहुत बड़ा कंपटीशन है। तो वी हैव टू मैच विद एट पार विद द अदर पार्ट ऑफ द कंट्री एंड बी इट ग्लोबल और बी इट नेशनल लेवल, वी हैव टू बी एट पार विद देम। सो उसके लिए आप लोगों का भी बहुत रोल है। विद दिस फ्यू वर्ड्स आई वुड लाइक टू थैंक यू सो मच once again for making me part of this beautiful event. Thank you so much.